Absolutely, Akansha, do stay with us because viewers, we're going to be talking about the markets. How are the Asian markets reacting? We earlier told you about the Japanese market. Now, Taiwanese stock market also opening more than 400 points higher. Now, there is a rebound despite, all that is happening far as, all the developments in Hormuz is concerned. Now, there seems to be some respite from the recent volatility. Investors are returning to electronic shares. That's the latest coming in following gains in U.S. This is a major U.S. indices at the end of the last week. The benchmark index surging in early trade as well. So that's the latest coming in at this point of time. Taiwanese stock market opening more than 400 points higher. So at least far as the Taiwanese market is concerned, they're not seeing a major impact. Rebounding from recent volatility, investors returning to electronic shares as well following gains. U.S. indices also, as we can see, major U.S. indices at the end of last week. The benchmark index surged in early trading, led by strong buying in technology stocks, which formed the backbone of Taiwan's export-driven economy. Market sentiment also supported by a rally on the Wall Street on Friday, where major indices closed higher despite the ongoing geopolitical concerns. Obviously, the latest attack, which is coming far as the Iranian ship in Hormuz is concerned, that has led to obviously a major escalation. All right, my colleague Srinjoy continues to be live with us. Srinjoy, take us through how the markets are reacting to what's happening in Hormuz. The Taiwanese market doesn't seem to be at least that affected if you look at the latest update coming in. But how are the global markets, Asian markets reacting to obviously what we have seen in Hormuz?
Well, in these last few days, the market, even in India, has gone down by 12 to 15%, depending on how you look at it. Now, if the market is so far down, then you would expect some level of rebound in any case. So what I have heard from stock observers, market observers, is that there is a chance. There is a chance of a small rebound in Indian stock markets today. But, of course, much will depend on what happens in these next few hours. Because if there are further setbacks in the Gulf of, in the Persian Gulf, then clearly there will be serious problems. Because this does not seem to be ending. This war, you hear Trump saying that we are almost to the end. Then he says that, no, we aren't. Then again he says that, yes, peace is close by. The problem here is that when normally there are peace talks, after a war, one side is won, one side is lost. In this case, both sides have claimed victory. So that is something which leads to this intransigence on both sides.
All right, we have, Srinjoy, do stay with us. We also have Mr. Ajay Dua as a market expert who's joining us on the phone line. Sir, take us through how the markets are reacting. Obviously, we had seen a sentiment in the markets when the Strait of Hormuz had been declared open. There was a sharp rise. Right now also, there doesn't seem to be a massive impact going by, obviously, the latest information coming in, going by, obviously, just Japan, Taiwan, the info coming in from there. Take us through, how the markets are reacting, sir, considering obviously what has happened, the latest escalation when it comes to U.S. attacking and seizing an Iranian ship.
Thank you very much. I think the volatility in the market is going to die down fairly soon if you look at the trend. The trend is towards making peace in the Strait of Hormuz, and up and downs will continue. Right now, as we know, Iran says, why is the U.S. blockading from the outer side while it's not within the Strait of Hormuz? The American ships, they are outside the Gulf area. And they have reacted by saying that we would stop shipping within the Strait of Hormuz. But I do think that the issue will get resolved in a day or two, and my optimism comes from the fact that the American team led by Mr. Vance, the Vice President, is already now in Islamabad or about to land in Islamabad, and which shows that the Americans, whatever they might be saying or doing on the ground, is equally neutralized by their action on the ground, action of wanting to have peace. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Similarly, Field Marshal Munir has just come back after 3 days of talks with Iran. So he would have updated the Americans already. Americans would be in a mood to accommodate some of the demands of Iran, and otherwise the American team would not have flown in so soon after, or come to Islamabad so soon after the visit of Field Marshal Munir to Iran. So on the whole, there is a clear trend towards resolution, and which gets reflected in the indices. The way indices have behaved are Japan and Taiwan. And let's remember, the Far East is a very big importer of oil, most of it, or almost all of it, which comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So they are reflecting, these indices of the Far Eastern markets which have opened up are reflecting exactly the optimism which I have on the subject, that we are going to be able to resolve and get a stability in the prices of oil, the one which is determining for the last 4 or 5 weeks how our markets behave.
All right, so do stay with us. We have another big breaking news coming in after ships attacked in the Gulf, something which we have been reporting and highlighting from the morning. The latest coming in, Brent is at 95.18 US dollars per barrel. That's the latest coming in. Ajay Duba, I believe, continues to be live with us. So what will you say about the latest coming in, Brent, at 95.18 US dollar per barrel?
Yes, this was bound to happen. Once you kind of get into conflict mode and seizing of a ship by the American blockade, that outer blockade which the Americans have of their a very powerful navy, that it reflected itself in the Brent price of oil going up. But the moment the negotiations start, and which should happen later in the day or early tomorrow morning, you would see that they should come back to around 90, which I think in the months to come or the weeks to come is going to be the average price, the mean price around which the Brent would hover around. Sometimes a couple of dollars down, sometimes a couple of dollars up. The same kind of volatility which we have always seen in the commodity market.
Absolutely, but and volatility continues at the latest coming in, Brent, at 95.18 US dollars per barrel. Thank you, sir, for joining us with all these updates. We slip into a short commercial break. Viewers, news and updates on the other side. Please don't go anywhere.